Hi, this is Steve Bartlett. I want to come to you now from NOS130-40, working on assignment 1 for lesson 1. Of course, the professor in this class is Miss Diane Dalton, and the student here is Steve Bartlett. Today, what I would like to do is go through about 6 things for you. I want to show you how to work with files in Windows 7 Explorer. First thing I want to do is show you how we will create a file. Number 2 will be how to copy the file. Number 3 will be, after we have copied the file, how to move it to a different folder. Once in another folder, we will rename the file. We will look at sorting files within Windows 7 Explorer Navigator. And last but not least, we are going to delete the file. So the first thing we want to do is create the file. Now, I have already created one file in a folder for you. I am going to create another file called test file 2. In doing this, I have Word open. I'll do a save as. I've taken it to the documents folder under my documents NOS130-2. I'm going to save it as test file NOS130. Hit save. I will close that. With that closed, the next thing we'll do, we're going to move on over to the Windows 7 desktop. From the taskbar, I'm going to open Windows Explorer. As we said, I did put those folders, those files in those folders in. You'll notice I have a folder 130-1 and a 130-2. Within 130-1, I have test file 1. If I back up, 130-2, I have test file for NOS130. Doing these things, we can open these in many different ways. I have them under my documents. You'll notice that there's NOS130 here. We can follow the path from within the navigator. And see both. So that is the path that we have them in. In doing this, what I would like to do, we've created the file. The next thing I would like to do for you, again, is to copy, which is step number 2. Within Windows Navigator, there are several different ways to copy a file. The way I like to do is to right-click, come down to Copy, move over to the next file, right-click, and paste. Now I can back that up and say delete that file. I can jump back into NOS130-1. I can right click, drag, and drop into NOS130.2. Copy here, move here. I'm going to copy here. It says, do you want to copy and replace? Yes, I do. So now I still have test file 1. I have test file 1. So that's how we have done a create, that's how we've copied, and again, that's how we have moved. So we've done 3 things here relatively quickly. While in a file, if I would like to rename the file, I can right-click, come all the way down to rename. It opens this up, and this says test file. I can just name it test 3. Whoops, that was a little bit crazy. And come out. If I want to do a slow double click, it will open the file. I can name it test file 4. We know that. All right, so we did take out the shortcut, the file name. It asks us the question. We changed the docs. Now we've changed it back to a Word file. The next thing we want to do is we want to come in and we want to go to all documents. Now within our documents library, let's jump over to here. Within our documents library, we have our navigator view and our Windows view over here. There's several different ways to sort. We can sort by modified date. We can pick a date to sort it by. We can sort by type by clicking the arrow that sorts ascending or descending. We can change it and say, well, I just want to look at the Windows 97 to 2003 files. We can say, I want to look at file folders. We can unclick. We could even sort by size if we'd like. So if we want to sort by the size, these are unspecified, but if we wanted to. There's also an option to be able to add or remove columns if we would love to add and remove columns to be able to sort by. But so within these libraries, excuse me, within the libraries, we're able to sort by multiple columns, by different areas. We could, we're not in the files. Let's see if we can find one that has more files for you. I'm not having a lot of luck here. So here's a lot of files within this folder that I have. Again, I can do it by date modified a long time ago, earlier this year. So Microsoft has given us a lot of different options on how to sort and find folders. There's also a search feature. If I just wanted to come into this one and search for just AUCT, you'll notice that it pulls up an auction or files here for us to review. To do this, I'm going to come back down to NOS130-1 and do the last trick that we wanted to go over. There are several ways to delete a file. I can, of course, hit this button, highlight, hit the delete key and say delete, answer yes or no. I can right click and say delete, and at this time we'll say yes. So with those things, those are the quick 6 steps that I wanted to review with you. Thank you for your time. Come back for more information later.